Water. It's essential to the creation, continuation, and thriving of all life. And yet, as powerful as it may be, water has no understanding of borders, of settlements, of geography. It lands where it lands, it flows where it flows. It's up to us to make the most of that. In 1971, a vision for a sustainable Colorado water supply emerged from this understanding. The Colorado Water Project's loan program was established with a $10 million investment by the Colorado General Assembly. During the course of the past 50 years, the program has committed more than $1.2 billion for water projects across the state. These dollars have gone toward critical reservoir upgrades, environmental restoration projects, and irrigation infrastructure improvements, to name a few. David Robbins is an attorney who has practiced law in the natural resources and water area since 1973. He has worked with and adjacent to the CWCB and knows well the challenges of funding water construction projects.
The problem with agricultural projects is that the agricultural community has a very hard time raising significant sums of money because their only assets are actually the private assets of the various irrigation companies and farmers, and figuring out how to put together sufficient assets to attract a bond house to loan you the money is a real challenge. But having the legislature provide the CWCB with access to state funds that can be loaned at rates that can be afforded has really made it easier both for agriculture and small municipal projects to be funded. In 1975, when I was hired to work in the natural resources area, I began working with Felix Sparks, who was a great influence.
To garner the support of board members, State Senator Fred Anderson introduced Senate Bill 21, an act concerning water and providing for a water project construction fund during the 1971 legislative session. Led by Director Felix Sparks, the CWCB heartily endorsed the legislation soon after. The future of Colorado and water resource development and use lies in more efficient use of what we have, Felix would explain in a 1983 interview. "We aren't going to get any more water," he said.
Some shining examples of projects that have been completed in the Rio Grande Basin are reservoir upgrades, the purchase of water to add to the San Luis Valley Water Conservancy District's augmentation program, and the restoration or rehabilitation of diversion and headgate structures.
Heather Dutton is the manager of the San Luis Valley Water Conservancy District. She also represents the Rio Grande Basin on the Colorado Water Conservation Board. She has both led and witnessed projects representative of the fund's 50 years of success.
The water community is incredibly fortunate that the CWCB board and previous program managers had the foresight to create a water project loan program within the Colorado Water Conservation Board. This program allows the water community, that includes farmers and ranchers, ditches and reservoir companies, municipalities, and water conservancy and conservation districts, to access funds for projects at an incredibly low interest rate. The borrowers are able to complete really important projects for the benefit of all Coloradans. The CWCB has always been and is still incredibly fortunate to have an amazing staff of people that include experts in engineering and also in finance who are able to work hand in hand with potential borrowers. It's just such a huge asset for our small communities because I don't think there's any typical bank that would have that kind of involvement in our small communities.
The Water Project's loan program was originally envisioned as a minor supplement to larger federal financing, but with cuts to federal funds in the 1970s and 1980s, a recession in the late 2000s, and the economic challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, the program has grown in size and scope to meet future needs through new and innovative water projects. Alan Hamill, now retired, worked at Pueblo Water for 52 years, 30 of them as its executive director. In his time serving as a board member of the CWCB, which began in the early 1990s, he's seen what an important resource the loan program has been.
We got to go see hands-on these projects, whether it was a municipality, irrigation ditch company, a big city, a rural city, and you got to see the value of what it was. When I started my career, my observation was Colorado. Agriculture was working here. They worked between farmers and ranchers. The cities all independently worked, but you didn't talk with the environmental community, you didn't talk with the recreation community. So bringing people together was first. We have multiple recreation projects brought about by collaboration. We need to work together, and the construction fund is an important part of that.
Because the CWCB's loan program is small and very specialized, it has the ability to be nimble and to respond to emergent events. This was really apparent in 2013 when Colorado experienced historic flooding in the northern Front Range. The CWCB was able to work with partners and quickly get no-interest loans on the ground. There were massive projects to repair diversion dams and pipelines and restoration of rivers that had experienced flood events that we had not seen in a generation. The CWCB's ability to respond quickly and get funds on the ground is just invaluable.
Maybe the most important project, at least to the local community, that we have seen in recent years was that the Republican River is our only river with a compact on it that does not have a snow shed.
In addition to his early work with the CWCB, David Robbins also represented the Republican River Water Conservation District when building the compact compliance pipeline. He is an expert on Colorado's responsibilities to compact compliance, a potential burden the state has become able to embrace with the help of the Water Projects Loan Program.
The state of Colorado negotiated with Kansas and Nebraska, and it was agreed that if Colorado provided outside or a different source of water to the river so that the flows in the river annually met the requirements of the compact, litigation could be settled. We have been in compact compliance on a 5-year rolling average as required since the pipeline began. Looking ahead, the state isn't out of the woods on compacts. My goodness, we're in the middle of a drought of epic proportions. The people who forecast these things have suggested that the Colorado River Basin is in a drought that may be the most serious in 1,200 years. That's a long time.
You've got aging infrastructure, permitting, and with our population projected to double by 2050, financing water projects are going to be key. Our latest challenge is climate change, and that has all kinds of challenges.
We have to look at the problem of developing additional water resources for a growing population, while at the same time protecting the needs of our agricultural economy. That's going to take a lot of out-of-the-box thinking.
For 50 years, the Water Projects Loan Program has brought consistency and sustainability to the funding of Colorado's water projects. Its self-perpetuating and self-regenerating approach to funding ensures it will continue to serve us for another 50 years and more.
The CWCB loan program is really a shining star for Colorado. We have been able to complete so many projects as a water community because of the ability to access these funds at a low interest rate. And the ability for the fund to just keep expanding the reach and the ability to fund larger and larger projects is a testament to the incredible management that has been present all along with this program. I can't wait to see what the future holds, and I hope that this program will continue to grow and flourish. It is critical for our water sustainability future.
We aren't going to get any more water, Felix Sparks said in his 1983 interview. People can forget about these glamorous but ridiculous plans to bring water in from Canada or the Mississippi River. It's not going to happen. What we have to do is get by on what we have. And we can do that. We can do that.